You and me both, but I wasn't paying attention. I really wasn't. This like, I don't, anyway, I swear, too much. Yeah, I got both of I do. All right. Peace and blessings, y'all. So I was trying to give everybody a little bit of time to get in, but as always, I'm gonna try to be consistent, if not anything else. And so today I'm continuing a conversation about November. So what we're setting boundaries around and what we're saying no to. And I dropped a little teaser earlier this week, basically just saying like for some people this time of the year is going to be, really nice, amazing, something that makes them happy. And then for other people, there's a lot of anxiety that comes with the holidays. A lot of people, the holidays make them, a little bit sadder because these are hallmark times of the year, right? Times where you usually are gathering with your family and friends and loved ones and things of that nature. But then when you have people who are no longer able to gather with you, it can put you in a different headspace. Or for some of us during this time of year, it puts a lot of pressure on us, either wise to perform in a certain type of way and be who it is that people, our family or friends, or even when you got invited to the workplace dinner. And some of y'all be like, I don't even fool with these people while I'm at work. And then they got the nerve to invite me after hours to be around them. So you be like, nah, I don't want to go. But then you go because you want to save face. So what we're talking about tonight is no, how to say no to Thanksgiving dinner. You don't have to go. You can respectfully decline the invite. Like, it's not necessary. If you're so busy doing stuff because you're thinking about how you're going to be perceived or received for not doing it, then I'm going to tell you to go ahead and say no. Like, you do not have to be a people pleaser. You don't have to go. You don't have to show up, especially if it's going to put you at war with yourself, especially if you're going and you're going to be around people and you're going to have to be this weird, whacked out version of yourself just to make it through. If you're the type of person who's going to have to pop something, drink something, smoke something just to go be around your family, your friends, or whoever, just so that you can say you had Thanksgiving dinner with XYZ, don't go. It might be better for you to spend some time at home. And there's many different ways that you can spend time at home doing something that's going to contribute to you in a real positive way. But sometimes you just need a rest. Some people are literally going to have to choose whether or not they want to make it to this family dinner or take the time off that they really need to rest and reset. And in today's time, so many people are constantly on a hustle bustle. Like, people got 2 and 3 jobs or XYZ amount of side hustles and things like that. If you don't make it to the family cookout, family gathering, family Thanksgiving, whatever it is, workplace thing after hours, like, you have to just be okay with that. And let your no be firm, okay? Don't allow yourself to be on some stuff like, I told them I might go, but then I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna fall asleep. Like, don't do that. Just say no and don't go. For some of us, there have been situations where I shared this earlier this week where people have been victimized by their own family members, whether that is them kind of sort of being bullied by their own family, because sometimes, let's face it, some of our earliest bullies are the people who live in the house with us or who are a part of our family. So if you've been beat down or verbally abused, psychologically abused, gaslit half your life, and now you're being made to come to this family function, fake it till you make it through the end of this dinner, like, don't go. Don't go. I don't know who needs to hear this, but there's somebody out here who's trying to figure out, should they book that flight? Should they make that ride? Should they actually go? And I'm telling you, no. The answer is no. Somebody else is probably going to try to talk you in. Oh, so and so, they haven't seen you in so long. Well, guess what? It's 364 other days of the year. If they're really serious about being in connection with you and have a relationship with you, then they can pick one of those other days to do it. But there is no obligation for you to show up for other people when you can't even show up for yourself. So just say no and don't go. For some of us, we have problems with eating disorders. So you're going to actually feel like you have to eat just because you're around people, because they're going to question your size. You got some people who are going to be forced to eat because you're supposed to be bigger. You got some people going to be forced to eat even though you don't really have an appetite, but because of your size, people are going to make it seem like, oh, we know you hungry. You ain't get that big for nothing. Like, don't go. If you going to your family dinner for Thanksgiving, it's going to result in you having extra turmoil, trauma, baggage that you got to take back and unpack all by yourself. Once this dinner is over, it's not worth it. You should not have to worry about extra weight on Thanksgiving that's not related to your plate. And it's real out here. So I just wanted to share that message and let y'all know a little bit about my story. So um for some people, y'all may know that I am a sexual assault survivor. And I'm not sure if they're gonna blurt this out because I think it's real wild. It's 2022, and we live in a world where people can say BITCH live on air and it don't get blurred out. But if you say the word abuse, then they want to blur that out. You can't even type it out. Like, they want you to be politically correct and blur out the word abuse because apparently that word is so triggering. But people being called other things is not triggering, right? That's real weird to me, but I digress. Okay, so I am a sexual assault survivor. I had it to happen to me by supposed to be friends after I went through a period of time where I didn't really have a strong sense of self-worth and value or whatever. And so as a result of that, I ended up, how Jasmine Sullivan say, hotels, having a whole moment, right, of just trying to like live my life, make myself happy, being with who I wanted to, trying to empower myself through my sensuality and all of these kind of things. As a result of that, I ended up having a supposed to be friend go to a place with me that I did not give consent for him to go, right? 2 years go by. It's the anniversary of that happening. I decided I wanted to like not think about it. I come to the neighboring town, hang out with some friends, drive home to my hometown, decide to hang out with one of my other friends, of whom I have to be honest with, right? And say that I had previously engaged with. But I use this analogy because it was very like necessary for me to like have this conversation with myself. When you go to Walmart or the grocery store, you buy bread. The receipt that you get in exchange for you making that transaction means that you got the bread that you was supposed to get that one time, right? There's no the next time you decide that you want to get bread from Walmart, you just walk in there and be like, I got bread last week, I'm gonna get bread again this week, right? You don't do that because every action, every transaction, there has to be consent. You consent, your consent in the grocery store is you giving the cashier your money or putting the money in the machine that says that you can have that transaction and get what it is that you got, right? That's not what happened. So after the situation, with the supposed to be friend, I was there to hang out, take my mind off of that. I didn't set any intentions before like going there. I didn't tell him that this is what I'm dealing with. I'm here with you because I think you're a safe space. I didn't tell him that, right? But because he had XYZ desires and he asserted himself over me, my wheels, he didn't even get a chance to find out that about me, right? The next day, well, flip that. The whole time I was being still, I didn't move, didn't interact or anything like that. It finally gets over. I leave, get ready to leave out the door. He makes this crazy statement that I'm actually not even in the mood to say right now, but it let me know that he was possibly aware that the type of engagement we just had wasn't consensual. And I leave and I go home, and I knew that I was supposed to be volunteering the next morning at the local like Thanksgiving dinner, community dinner. So I go home. I'm in pain. I feel sick. I was mentally in angst and just overall destroyed because I'm trying to figure out why is it that this person did what he did, and this is the anniversary of the first time that it happened. And then I had to just push it out of my head. Like, I just dissociated. I just act like it didn't happen. I went to sleep. I got up the next day. I got myself ready. I went to the store for my mom. I went to the local food giveaway place and I served people with a smile. Why? Because I'm a people pleaser. So even though I needed that time for myself, I needed a reset. I needed to be able to take care of myself, I prioritize other people because that's what I was always doing. Like I didn't know how to prioritize myself. So I share all of that to say this. After that, I never prioritized myself. I went through that situation for a couple of years, didn't talk about it, still ended up kind of acting out as a result of that, had these really weird moments, and then finally it just overall that with some other things led to me having like this desire to like spiritually evolve and change. Like I remember just kind of like getting to a point where like, God, I need for you to do something in me because I don't know what I'm doing with myself. Like I just can't. I can't with me no more. And so that led to me seeking out like the path, and I didn't realize what path it was until I ended up like one day reading, and everything in the book just was hitting and making sense for me. But even after coming to the path of like monotheism through Islam, I still struggled because I wasn't healing. I wasn't dealing with that part of myself. I wasn't healing from that. And I still like was kind of blaming myself for it because when something happens, something like that happens to you twice and it's supposed to be friends, it makes you question your judgment. So I definitely for a long time also I didn't trust myself with myself. Didn't trust myself with myself. And I try my best to do self-love and all these things, but once again it's hard for you to reach like a real level of self-love when you're loving yourself in a piece, like only part of yourself, because you won't be real like holistically and with the totality of who you are, what you've been through and things of that nature. So after a while I got to a place where I'm just like, I just want truth, I just want what's real, right? And as I found myself on that path, it became easier for me to say no to things. I no longer identified myself as a person who had to go along to get along. Like, I didn't care anymore if people saw me in any particular light. I just started to have a more clear vision about myself and who I wanted to be. And a people pleaser wasn't one of them. The type of person who doesn't prioritize themselves after being sexually assaulted, the type of person who would low-key think that they did something to get themselves in this predicament, like I had to forgive myself for that. I had to really heal, and as I got on the path of healing and forgiveness, I had to realize that if it's other people who are counterproductive to my healing and forgiveness, then I cannot allow myself to be around them. So now I'm still kind of new at this saying no thing, right? I'm not the best at it, but I definitely weigh it out and I try to figure out, is this worth me saying no to, or is this worth me saying yes to? Because if I have to say yes to you at the expense of myself, I'm not doing that anymore. If me saying no to you means that I get a chance to say yes to myself, I'm absolutely going to do that because I deserve my yes. And I know what my yes means, and I know what I'm capable of when I'm moving in a yes, right? And I've also learned to be okay with saying no. And the ironic thing about all of that is, and I'm not trying to like make any crazy correlations, but what I will say is this: I ended up realizing that people forcing you into agreeing to something, them manipulating you into agreeing to something, not giving you a real chance to or choice in a matter, those things is very like to sexual assault, because you have somebody else stripping you from the consent, like, and I don't want anybody doing that to themselves. Like, don't assault your own self at the expense of making somebody else happy, because you're never gonna really make people happy if someone else's happiness is built on them hurting you. They don't deserve to be happy anyway. And if someone else's happiness is built on you having to betray yourself, they don't deserve to be happy anyway. So when it comes to the family dinner this Thanksgiving, if you know, Aunt Mary's gonna be sad that she don't see you, but also Aunt Mary has, Uncle so and so at the house, and everybody knows that he is a little too friendly with the children. Don't go, or if you go, and he wants to hug your child, teach your children at young ages they are not responsible for making anybody else feel good. Oh, he's gonna be sad if you don't hug him. I don't give a darn. He don't deserve a hug. Everybody's not deserving of every action from you. And if I can't preach that enough, like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but seriously, don't force your kids to hug anybody. A polite hello, like, that's good enough. Don't force your family members to like bring something. You never know, somebody might really be struggling, and y'all up here talking junk about somebody saying they come every year and they don't bring anything every year. They might not have had nothing to bring. Allow for people presence to be enough, because when we look at other people dying out here in this world, now you're looking across at an empty table where they used to at the table at the seat where they used to sit at, or you're remembering that this person, I guarantee you remember now that presence is absolutely enough. If that's all these people got to bring and you love them, that's enough. Let people know that they are enough this holiday, right? And just treat people with love. Like, we don't know what people are battling a lot of times during these holiday seasons, in addition to like just regular everything else, like so much pressure. You got people being pressured into celebrating things in a way where they have to come out of pocket so much. Christmas about to come up. Somebody about to be out here breaking their neck to buy gifts for people, and at the end of the day, they ain't got it. They got to take out loans and stuff like that. Y'all, I want you to be able to say no. Say no, because if you saying yes, even not just with your words, but in your actions, if your yes costs you more than your peace, it is too dang expensive. So I'm gonna get ready to sign off. Thank you all for who end up tuning in. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Comment below. Tell me if there's a situation within your life where you're saying no and I'm not going, and you are just so content with that. If you're at your family dinner and somebody brings up a subject, y'all, now this is a big one for real, because a lot of times, like, you got the family members who want to be intellectuals, right? And so they're gonna start bringing up current events to try to like put everybody else on blast. Oh, they're gonna start talking about election just passed. How many of y'all got out here and voted? You know, the midterms are most important. You ain't about this because you don't do that. Da da da. It is a better way for us to reach each other. Talking junk ain't it. But don't go there with them. Say no and don't go. You ain't got to go there with them in a conversation. They start bringing up, oh, are you and so-and-so still together? How's your marriage? Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. You ain't had no children. What you and so-and-so waiting on? People are struggling with fertility, y'all. We got to start being more careful in how we're interacting with each other, okay? So if it's going to take you to a different place, don't go. Like, don't go physically, don't go, or don't go there verbally with these people. Like, if you love these people, you should be able to be with them in a much different way. So that's pretty much it. I'm signing off. Comment below if there's anything that's making you nervous about going to your family Thanksgiving dinner, or if it's anything that's making you nervous about the workplace after hours, whatever. What is it that you're trying to say no to? And if you're really truly struggling and you need somebody to like help you, coach you into saying no, hit me up. Like, and I'm not trying to sell anything right now. If you need somebody to talk to, hit me up, 843-610-8199. But yeah, that's it. Peace, love, and piece of cake.